Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make kombucha. From one SCOBY you can make a lifetime of kombucha. Kombucha is so beneficial to improving your gut health and creating that microbiome in the system at a balanced space. When you make your own kombucha, it is a potent elixir, so you only will be needing a shot of kombucha a day. And you can dilute it with spring water, or you can even flavor it with different fruits. And that would be your second phase fermentation. But your first fermentation is, what you're going to need is, if you're going to get a gallon or a 4-liter jar, you're going to have a cup of sugar, 1 cup of sugar, and your SCOBY, which you can get on cosmicmoments.com. You can order a SCOBY, or if you're in the Queensland area, you can pick it up from me. You have your SCOBY, which means the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It has lots of probiotics. You want to make sure everything is very clean. Because you're working with a bacteria and yeast culture, you really want to make sure that no bacteria that are unwanted get fermented and created here. So I would recommend using vinegar to just wash out your jar, as well as warm water. So I've just combined some cold water and hot water so it doesn't get too hot. And then depending on where you are would depend if you would use filtered water or if tap water is okay for creating your kombucha. Things that you want to stay away from are metal. Kombucha, SCOBY cannot survive if it's touched with metal. So, first off, we're going to place our starter liquid, which is the ready-made kombucha. For 4 liters, you need 2 cups. That's 1 cup there. Just place some more. So that's coming from your ready-made kombucha. When you get it online, you'll be getting it with your SCOBY. Now I'm putting that in first so it's not too hot for your jar, because your jar can crack if you're putting boiling water straight into there. And then we're going to have 1 cup of sugar. Now I like to put the sugar with the tea so that you can dissolve it. White sugar is the best because it is easy for the SCOBY to, oh, I'm making a big mess, to eat, to digest and break down. Kombucha is a healing health elixir, and it was first discovered, or said to first be discovered, in China in 215 BC, and it was known for its amazing health benefits. And Dr. Kombu, which was a Japanese doctor, had discovered it and took it over to Japan for the emperor, and it was this tea of immortality for the emperor. So remember, you don't want to be using anything metal, so you're using wood and plastic. You also want to make sure that the temperature of your kombucha is at a low level when it hits the SCOBY. Then for 1 gallon or 4 liters of kombucha, you're going to be using about 8 tea bags, 2 tablespoons of loose leaf tea. The tea that you use will affect the flavor of your kombucha. So black tea is the best. And so you just want to let that brew until it's cooled down. You're going to have 13 cups of tea in your mixture. And then your SCOBY. Now your SCOBY looks like a mushroom kind of thing, and it ferments and creates new SCOBYs at the bottom. You can actually eat this calamari-like texture. And then once your tea has cooled down enough, you're going to place your tea into your jar, the 13 cups of tea, and you can use a paper towel or a bamboo breathable cheesecloth or a chucks, and just place that over. So that is to ensure that the kombucha can still breathe and the fermentation can take place. Your brewing time for the first fermentation will be about 1 to 2 weeks. So I would suggest tasting it after a week and then tasting it again after 2 weeks to see the sweetness and see what goes with your flavor. The more tart, it means that it's obviously dissolved and eaten more sugar that you've placed in. The fermentation will produce bacteria that are extremely good for your gut health, good for boosting immunity, and good for just balancing out your acidity and alkalinity within your gut system. So there you have it. Go to cosmicmoments.com to find out more.